Hey guys, Tarkan here, back finally with another video. Those of you who've been watching or watched my last video or who follow the Facebook group will know that I've been in transit these last few days, because I came here to Germany. You'll notice I'm in a much more German place right now, to visit family, and I'll be here and in Turkey starting end of next week. We're going to drive to Turkey for a few weeks, probably till about August. So I'll be making videos from here and from over there for the next several weeks. Yeah, so I'm still pretty jet lagged. So forgive me if I'm kind of stammering and I still seem kind of tired and out of it. I'm in a time zone now that's 9 hours ahead of the one I'm used to. And I think my travel time was altogether about 18 hours. If you count, layovers and all the times in between and the connecting flights and everything altogether, was about 15 to 18 hours. So I'm still pretty out of it. I just arrived 2 nights ago, and I was gonna wait until tomorrow to do another video. I've also been just brushing up on coaching packages, so things have been kind of hurly-whirly, or what's the term I'm looking for? Anyway, but I wanted to do a video for you guys today, and it's going to be a quick one, and it's a comment I'm going to read from a viewer, and I think actually a new subscriber. And I wanted to come back after a week a little bit more lighthearted. So I was going to do viewer comments. I have a few viewer comments lined up that I wanted to read and talk about, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to save that for the next one. And so for this one, I'm just going to read a really quick comment from this woman, I believe, excuse me, who just started following me, I think, following the channel. So welcome. This is from 𝗙𝗰𝗲, and she had been listening to my podcast episode 6, which you can find here on the channel. You can also find it in the iTunes store and on Spotify and on Podbean. That's actually where it lives. And, I haven't done a lot of podcast episodes lately, and I'm going to try to do another one this summer before I go back home, but I'll be doing more of those once I get home. I have to think a little bit more about the format there and everything. But this particular podcast that she commented on was about manifesting money, and I talked in that episode at length about different techniques to manifest money and different mindsets to adopt regarding money. Now, I know most of you come to my channel because you're interested in manifesting an ex back or a specific person, manifesting relationships, and I want to let you know right off the bat, since this is not a success story about that, but about money specifically, it really doesn't matter. For me, in law of attraction and in manifesting, I think a success story is a success story. And really, for anything that you want to manifest, the techniques are the same, the mindset is the same, the perspectives to adopt are the same, all the principles and theories about it are the same. So you can apply this comment, this little story that she wrote, to whatever you're trying to manifest, whatever your desire may be. And if it is a relationship with somebody, it's the same principles, and it's just a different mindset. And it's not a long comment, it's not a long story. There's not too much I'm going to have to say about it, but you'll see that it's just a matter of being playful. And I wanted to do a video on this to come back after a week of absence. I think it's been a week. Because it is important, it's so important to be playful with this. And a lot of times we take ourselves way too seriously in this life. And especially when we discover law of attraction and manifesting, and we want something so badly, or we've wanted it for a long time. And it's sort of, we kind of automatically adopt this mindset of, I must have it, or I'm going to, lose my mind, or everything is going to be lost and horrible in my life. And I can't stress this enough. And I've probably said this in other videos. I'm going to keep saying it. How important it is to let go of that a little bit. Not just a little bit, actually a lot. But if you have trouble letting go of it a lot, then just take baby steps with it, just try to be playful, be experimental with this stuff. And because that's the best way you're going to learn. I mean, how do children learn? How do we learn when we were children? We learned by playing, right? You get a child a toy or a set of toys because that's what they learn with. They learn to navigate their environment with that. They learn about problem solving. They learn about all those things. And you know what? We don't ever really stop being children. We don't ever really stop learning. In fact, we never stop learning. I think that's a given. I think the moment you stop learning in life, it's kind of when your life is over anyway. You know, I think when you shuffle off this mortal coil, and you go on to refocus into the non-physical, and then, you know, probably you'll want to come back here into another identity and do it all over because it's fun. From your spirit, from a spiritual perspective, from your inner being's perspective, your soul's perspective, this is fun, this life stuff, okay? When we're in it, from our monkey mind perspective, sometimes it's not so fun. It can seem frustrating because we want everything that we want now and in the perfect way that we want it. And you can have those things, but we come here to learn to do that again. It's kind of like, you know, you forget what you inherently already know, so that you can have the joy and the thrill of rediscovering it. That's kind of what this life thing is about, at least from my perspective. So this manifesting and law of attraction, it's so much fun. It can be so much fun when you approach it with that mindset, whether it's money or a relationship or even health or hell, a parking spot or whatever it is that you want to manifest. You're doing it all the time anyway. It's running all the time on default. It's a program that's constantly going. So you might as well take advantage of it. You might as well learn how it works. You might as well teach yourself to adopt the right mindset so that you can have fun with it. You might as well have fun with it because here you are, you know, and that's it. We're in it for the duration, if we choose to be. And you might as well just decide right now, you know what? Hell with it. Let's see what's possible. Let's see what I can do, okay? And it's in that spirit that Lizzie Indigo, hello Lizzie, and thank you for this comment, and thanks for subscribing and checking out the podcast episode. So she, I'm just going to assume you're a she, I think you are. She decided to listen to the Manifesting Money episode, which is number 6. It's actually, I think, the last one I did. I think. My brain is still catching up with me. So she had actually left 2 comments. There was a very brief one on that one, which she left yesterday, which says, you know, this needs way more views. And I agree. I'm only partway through, but I'm loving it. That's it. I'm going to start play fantasizing about my adventures of having an unlimited bank account. And I think I'd mentioned that as a technique or as a sort of thing to play with in the podcast episode. But, you know, go listen to it yourself. Sometimes when I get through with those, I kind of put them away now. They put them out of my brain, so I have to re-listen sometimes to certain things. People will comment even on the videos and go, oh, that thing you said, but it's like a video I posted 8 months ago or something. So I have to go back and review what I said because I'm speaking and writing so much, even with the coaching, that, you know, it's all just, it's there and it's bouncing around. And anyway, so she decided she's going to play around with it a little bit. She said, I'm going to play fantasize about my adventures of having an unlimited bank account. And she said also, actually, as a writer, she's a writer, I find that when I get really into my writing, things start appearing in real life that I've been writing about. So many times I've manifested character lookalikes or entire scenes even. Now, this is an interesting comment, and I love that you wrote that because, you know, we talk about scripting. And scripting, you can do it. I mean, scripting is about writing things down, obviously, scripting. But it's much more about viewing your life as a story that you're writing as you're living it, right? And really, that's what manifesting is. You're in it. You're in the play. It's like a 3D movie that you're living in, right? And you're writing the story as you go along. This is why I don't personally believe in the concept of destiny or fate, because it really runs counter to what we're talking about here, doesn't it? Manifestation, law of attraction, is the opposite of fate and destiny, which suggests that we come in with a set circumstances and things that we have to accomplish, and it's only those things or whatever our life is already written for us before we come into it. What would be the point of that? That's ridiculous. You know, even directors are constantly changing the scripts even as they're filming their movies. That happens all the time. Writers are constantly rewriting their novels and their transcripts and their manuscripts, I mean, and whatever it is. you're writing it as you go along. So I love that idea. And so scripting doesn't necessarily have to involve writing it down. You know, when you're visualizing, you're also scripting. You're just doing it more in a visual, mental kind of way. You're not necessarily writing it down. But as you're doing that, you're doing the same kind of thing. You're scripting. And look at this. Even when she just writes a fiction story or something, she manifests her character, people who look like her characters around her, right? And even entire scenes that she's written. That's a German ambulance sound. Doesn't that sound goofy? Even scenes that she's written, which are like, I assume you're writing fiction when you're doing this, are coming to pass. She's manifesting them. So there's a direct correlation between her using her imagination, us using our imagination, and feeling it so real, because she said when she writes, she gets so into it that it seems real. And that's how you want your visualizations to be. That's how you want your scripting to be. You want it to be real, to the point where you're feeling it real. And of course, that's, I believe, is also a 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏 term, right? Feeling it real. So that's very important to mention that and what she said there about writing and scripting, and then things that she's writing just for her fiction work coming to pass. I think that's fascinating. And I think it demonstrates so well how this stuff works, and that it does work, okay? So if you're ever in doubt, just remember this comment that Lizzie left. So that was yesterday, and that was a short comment. And then 6 hours ago, she wrote an update. She says, update, holy cow. So after listening to this podcast, I think I was vibing pretty high. Still am, obviously. I can tell from your comment, because some seriously crazy stuff just happened. I only had $30 in my food budget to last me this next week, and tinned beans, are you British? Tinned beans. So canned beans, translating it for the American audience. Tinned beans and rice was literally all I had in the cupboards. I had a couple of friends over, and long story short, I ended up using that $30 on pizza because I wanted to. And we were having such a great time. Now there's a testament in faith right there, right? That's when we talk about you really got to believe in this stuff and have the faith that things are going to work out. And you know, Lizzie, you're not the only one who's had this experience. Of course, I have as well many times in my past, especially regarding money. I've had, you know, 20, 30 bucks to last me a week or even two, and had that panic moment of, oh, what am I going to do now? Oh, hold on. I remember these principles. I'm just going to, hell with it. I'm going to just give this to the universe. I'm going to give this over. I'm going to say, you know what? It's out of my hands. Here's what I want. My intention is to manifest more money. My intention is to be okay for the next week or two. But in the meantime, I'm going to have fun. So that is an example of how you're actually going to ignore your physical reality if it is not to your liking. What you're doing is you're not ignoring it to your own detriment necessarily, but you're not dwelling on it. So if what's going on around you physically right now is not to your liking, what you want to do is acknowledge that. I need more money. Or hell, my ex hasn't contacted me in a while, and there's all this distance, and I want more communication. And okay, fine, you can acknowledge where you're at, that you don't like where you're at, but then move on and then just forget it at that point and go have fun. And I keep saying this so many times, and I say this to my coaching clients. And you know, it's like, Tarkan, how can I have fun when all these problems? Well, you're not going to solve the problems by dwelling on them. That's the opposite of problem solving, because that's a problem mindset that you're adopting. Now you want to adopt a solution mindset, and a solution-based mindset is precisely this. It's taking on the attitude of being okay. It's taking on the attitude that, hey, I already have way more than $30. Now she didn't quite word it that way, but this is what I'm saying now. You only have $30 physically in your hand or in your bank account, but really what's going on here is that you're going to go, I already have way more than $30 in my vibrational escrow, like Abraham Hicks says, right? And I'm going to allow that into my physical reality, and I'm going to do that by not offering any resistance to the fact that I can only see $30 in my hand right now, okay? I know there's more money there, and I know all I have to do is get out of its way so it can flow into my life. I can welcome it in, and I'm going to do that by ignoring the fact, not dwelling on the fact that I only have $30 to last me until next payday, but I'm going to have some fun with my friends and I'm going to order pizza, damn it, right? And so that's what she did. And we were having such a great time, she says. Now, the pizza place messed up my order, however. Now, this is another interesting demonstration, and the reason I love this comment so much is because there are a couple of examples of just how the process of manifesting will work and unfold then, because then you have to trust the process. And sometimes, and so often, people go, well, I intended this, and I focused on it, and I got out of my own way, and then something happened, and everything got messed up. But sometimes the thing that appears to be messed up is precisely the thing that needs to happen to get you to the manifestation. If you only just hold on a little bit and keep working on your faith and just go, okay, wait a minute, maybe this isn't what I think it is, maybe it's not quite how it looks, then actually it's going to correct itself. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, all right, so let me see, I'm still jet lagged, so let me just continue and then I'll talk about that some more. The pizza place messed up my order, however, and one of the pizzas was wrong. Sounds awful, right? I just spent my last $30 on a pizza that's wrong now. I don't even want it. So I phoned them. Here's the action part. She took inspired action. I'm going to call them, okay? And they sent me the correct one, but I could keep the wrong pizza as well, which was still really yum. One free pizza. So not only did she get a pizza with the last $30, but because the pizza place messed it up, she got one for free. She got an extra pizza, which was also delicious. And so her and her friends got to enjoy 2 pizzas on just that money. Boom, she got out of her own way. She decided to have fun, to be playful. She decided to just give it a try. She was gonna just pretend that her bank account is filling up, just gonna play with that, visualize it, script it, fantasize about it, see what happens. I only have $30 till next week. What am I going to do? Woe is me? She didn't sit around and say, woe is me. She said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to spend this $30 on pizza and we're going to have fun. My friends and I are going to have fun. And so the universe goes, you're going to have fun. Not only are you going to have fun, we're going to give you an extra pizza. That's what the universe said. See? We're going to get them to mess it up. And then you're going to call them. You're going to have to take a little action. So the action part was you calling them, saying, hey, you messed up my order. And they go, oh, we're so sorry. You can keep that one. We're going to send you another one. We're going to send you the pizza you wanted. And they're both delicious. So they got to enjoy a free pizza, 2 pizzas for the price of 1. But that's not all. Then she continues, today, the very next day after this happened, I'm running some errands. And I run an errand for my brother while I'm out, and he decides to buy me lunch. That will happen too. Suddenly people will just give you things, buy you things, and you're like, what? It could be your brother, could have been a stranger, could have been a good friend, could have been anybody. Your brother in this case was the cooperative component that the universe put in your path to use as a vehicle to get you a free lunch that day. Remember, this is not a test. You're not being tested by the universe. What's going on here is that you're creating, or rather, you're allowing in what has already been created, what you've already imagined. The moment you imagined and fantasized about your bank account being limitless, that moment you created that thing in this hazy state, steam state, where all the possibilities exist the moment we conjure them up with our imagination. Now, the next thing that has to come after that is that you get out of the way. You become the cooperative component by aligning vibrationally with that. And one of the ways to do that is to just behave like it's already done. Is to just pretend and feel, most importantly, like it's already done. And one of the ways you demonstrate that you feel that it's already done and that you have faith that it's taken care of is to just do things like order pizza anyway on $30 left till next payday and invite your friends over. You see what I'm saying? That's you opening up to allowing more in, more that you've already conjured up, that you've already created, right? With your mind. That's already there. All you have to do is just allow it to solidify into your physical reality. So now you got to have a pizza party with your friends, and now your brother's buying you lunch the next day. Free lunch. Then, she continues, he invites himself and a couple of good friends back for dinner. How cheeky. Wait, you mean I just spent my last $30? You bought me lunch, but now what? You're going to invite people over for dinner? I'm just kidding. But some people might interpret it that way, but you didn't. So he invites himself and a couple of good friends over back for dinner to your house, to Lizzie's house. And she says they want me to cook Italian for them. I spent time in Italy and learned how to cook some pretty epic dishes. So in exchange, if there's an exchange happening, my brother not only buys me the ingredients for dinner, but enough groceries to last me an entire week until payday. What a great brother. So look at that. So she goes, and then she continues. Then, just 5 minutes ago, so 5 minutes before she wrote this comment, I received an email from one of my favorite restaurants offering me a $50 voucher to test out their new delivery app over the weekend. What? So all you had to do there is check your email, and they just sent you $50, your favorite restaurant, to test out their new delivery app over the weekend. They're like, hey, we actually need you to test this out. We got to know this app works. So you're actually helping us. So if you help us out, we'll reward you by giving you $50 in food over the weekend. So she says, I now literally have so much food, I need to give some of it away. Oh, now think about abundance, okay? Think about, for just a second, and I don't want to mess this up because my brain is starting to get tired again, but think about abundance for a minute. The reason we want abundance, part of the reason we want abundance, part of the reason why abundance is so wonderful, because when you have it, you'll have it in such abundance that you can share it, that other people will benefit from it, right? And I believe even in that podcast episode, I speak about that concept of abundance, or at least not looking at money as a negative thing anymore. There's enough to go around. There's enough of everything to go around in this universe. Think of the fruit trees. This is something that 𝗙ص𝗿 𝗖𝗏, one of my favorite law of attraction money teachers, who passed away some years back, but if you go back on YouTube, 𝗙ص𝗿 is a great person to, great speaker, great author to listen to, and he spoke about abundance and money manifesting quite extensively. But you know, he always said, consider the fruit trees of the earth and how abundant they are, right? Just think of one tree that's full of fruit, one apple tree or whatever it is, and think about all the fruit that's just on one tree, and then think about all the trees of that kind or any fruit kind that would be in the world. And that's how you look at abundance, right? That's how you look at things from an abundant mindset. There's more than enough to go around. In fact, there's so much now, I can give some away. I can now share it with some other people. And part of the reason you want to be prosperous in this life, part of the reason you want to be abundant in this life, so that not only can you live well and be happy because you deserve to, but you're going to be able to then help other people. All right? That's a good reason to make money. That's a good reason to be abundant. That's also a good reason to be abundant in love. So even if you're manifesting a relationship, if you don't have enough love to give around, or if you feel unloved, or that there's not enough love, you're never going to be able to A, love yourself, which is important first and foremost, and then B, give that love on to others. Not just to a lover, but even to your children, to your pets, your animals, to your family, to anybody, your coworkers, your friends. Yeah, and that's why I always say you have to take care of yourself first. You have to love yourself first, then you can give love, and then you can receive more love, okay? But first you. What do they always tell you on the airplane? I just flew, so I remember. What do they always tell you on the airplane, right? If in case of an emergency, the oxygen mask is gonna drop down? What do they say, put it on the other person first and then on yourself? No. First you put it on your own face, then you help the person next to you. And why is that? Because if you can't help yourself, then you're not going to be capable of helping anybody else, right? So you make sure you're okay first. Then you can pass that on to other people. Then you can be a source of their abundance, or at least a guide to their abundance, okay? So that's why it's so important to adopt a prosperous and abundant mindset, not just with money in this life, with anything, with love, with health, with relationships. There's way more than enough to go around. So that's a big challenge that a lot of us have with this attracting stuff and with this manifesting stuff, is that we start from a vantage point of we don't have enough. We don't have enough love in our lives. We don't have enough food. We don't have enough money. We don't have enough good health. We don't look good enough. We don't have this. We don't have that. You know, I always had a mindset in the past, and I had a friend who had the same mindset of, well, I want to date, but I don't have enough money. So first I got to make money so I can date and have a girlfriend or whatever it is. And of course, that's just an ass backwards way of doing things. And once you understand how this stuff works, how this manifesting works, then you understand, you begin from the mindset and the feeling of already being abundant. And from that point of view, everything else is taken care of for you, right? And you can see that here in this testimonial from Lizzie. And so I love this comment for that reason. So she now literally has so much food that she has to give some of it away. And it just kind of came to her. And she started off with $30 for her food budget until next week, payday, you know, canned beans and rice. And she got a pizza party. She got a free lunch from her brother. She got to cook dinner for her brother and his friends, a nice Italian dinner, and then also had another, you know, he bought her another enough food to last a week, and then she got a $50 voucher for the weekend to enjoy food from her favorite restaurant, who are probably also going to deliver the food to you because they're testing a new delivery app right over the weekend, so they're going to give it to you. They're just going to bring it to your door as well. For free. So I think that's amazing. So she said, yeah, I now literally have so much food, I need to give some of it away. And I will. I'm so excited to do so. Yes, because once you understand how abundant you are, how powerful you are in creating, your ability not to just create, but to attract what you want, to manifest what you want physically. You get so excited, you want to share it with the world. Now you want to give it away. She's so excited about this now. And that's all from deciding to change the way I viewed money. Thank you so much. Listening to this really just put me in the perfect mindset. And that's what this is about, and that's why I do this too. And that's why I like reading these kinds of testimonials and success stories, is because I want there to be inspiration for you guys. I want to inspire you guys, because all of you are capable of doing exactly what Lizzie has done here. All of you are capable of doing exactly what I do, what I've done, what anybody else is doing, whether it's money, whether it's relationships. And you know, I get this question so many times, and I get it from coaching clients. Can I manifest them back? Can I manifest this? Absolutely, of course you can, but you need to decide that you're going to do it. You need to decide that you're powerful enough to do it. Make a decision that you're going to align with it, that you're going to keep up your vibration no matter what is happening around you, right? Play with it. Decide to be playful with it and not so serious with it, all right? And then what happens is, and then of course, let it go. Approach it from a nonchalant aspect as well, to be like, I'm reaching for what I want. I'm always reaching for more, while I'm also okay and content with where I am now. And that is the perfect balance to strike right there. It's the knowing that if I just let go a little bit, if I just decide that I'm going to enjoy my life anyway, whether what I want is now physically present in my life or not, I'm going to do it anyway, and knowing full well that by adopting that kind of attitude, I'm going to get exactly what I want. Not only am I going to get exactly what I want, I'm going to get so much more of what I want, and even things that I didn't even know I wanted, right? That I didn't even know were possible. Now notice she wasn't very specific in her intentions here. She just said, hey, I'm going to just adopt a different mindset about my money situation. And then all these things came in that she probably didn't even anticipate were a possibility. Now she could have sat down and said, okay, I'm going to manifest $3,000 or $300 in the next week. And she could have done that, but she would have put way too much resistance behind that. Instead, she just opened herself up to the possibilities and just was playful, experimental with it, and said, you know what, let's see what happens. And then look what happened, right? And all these things that your monkey mind can't even conjure up. And this is why I always say, it's not your enemy or anything like that. I say monkey mind for fun, right? But also to kind of signify your conscious mind, your physical mind that's always trying to solve problems, always trying to get on top of everything in life, and you exhaust yourself by doing that. Now you're learning about manifesting and law of attraction, and the way to approach that is to let go. Let your monkey mind only decide what it is you want, what you prefer. That's it. Set your intentions, that's it. As far as figuring out how to get it, all you got to do is get out of the way and allow the universe, allow this thing to come together, allow it to bring you what you need and what you want. And it happens. It will happen every time. And you'll be surprised every time, because often, yes, just like this, things will come in ways that you never anticipated, that your brain, your monkey mind, could have never foreseen or calculated or anticipated. That's what your higher self does, your higher mind does. So big you does that. Little you is not capable of doing that. Big you has a much larger vantage point, a much broader perspective than little you does, right? So let it take over for a little while, especially in situations where you're going, I only have $30 this week, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna give it to big me. Let big me figure it out. Big me can see down the road further than little me can. And there you go. So that's what can happen, okay? And she finishes off with, everyone, you need to listen to this podcast. It changes lives. I'm going to throw that in. Thank you, Lizzie. Yes, you should listen to it. It is the episode 6 of Manifestation.lab. It's on there. Again, it's on the iTunes store as well. It's on Spotify, on Podbean. But you can listen to it on this very channel also. And I appreciate you doing so. And there will be more podcast episodes. My intention with the podcast was never to be that consistent with it, but to have, like, every now and then have really cool episodes and things that I could speak about more in depth than I could do in the channel. I do want to eventually have guests and things like that on the podcast, but that's for further down the road. So, you know, keep updated on that. I will keep you updated on that, or you'll see when I upload new podcast episodes, you'll see them on the channel if you subscribe, and if you haven't done so yet, please do so now. And I want to say a word in closing about subscriptions. I am past 1,000 subscribers now. Woohoo! So all you new people, and actually all of you that have subscribed since I started this, thank you so much. And here I can tell you my own little tiny success story, because my intention at the beginning of this year was for me to reach at least 1,000 viewers, subscribers, by the middle of this year. And it is the middle of the year, and here we are. I have 1,000 subscribers. In fact, I think as of this, I have 1,014 or something like that. So I've reached that goal. I manifested that. So you see, I'm still doing it too. I'm always manifesting as well. We're always manifesting. We can't turn it off, as a matter of fact. Of course, all we're learning to do is to do so more deliberately, right? Okay, guys, I'm fading, I can tell. Thank you so much for listening and watching, for subscribing, for hitting like. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so now. If you want some coaching, that's available on my website. If you want to leave me a buck donation, you can do so through the Cash App or PayPal. That's down below in the description box as well. There will be another video coming soon, and I am going to get into some viewer comments very soon on that. So look out for that. And until next time, I'm Tarkan, and I'm going to take a nap. All right, take care.